Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be reacting to some more Monster Madness, and it's going to be Godzilla from 1998, the movie of course. Oh god, this movie, I think we all remember this one. That's a lot of fish. I believe we actually did a nostalgic critic reaction video to this movie. But from what I remember, this movie was absolutely terrible for everyone else. I'm sure this is perhaps one of the worst Godzilla movies ever created. However, for me, I kind of enjoyed it. I know, you're thinking, Charlie, it's the worst Godzilla movie. It's terrible. It's god awful. Yeah, I know, it's terrible. It's god awful. But you know what? I sort of liked it. I mean, I enjoyed sort of Matthew Broderick, from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was in it. I sort of like the cheesiness tone to it, even though it's a terrible movie. I know it truly is a terrible Godzilla movie. It shouldn't even be called Godzilla. It's an abomination. But I kind of like the cheesy tone of it because I think the reason why I enjoyed it is because it was goofy. I couldn't take it serious, and that's why I liked it. It's because I don't think I kind of like movies that are always serious. I like having like background videos like I like enjoying movies in the background playing that I can't take serious. It's kind of nice. Something I like to sleep to. I could watch this movie again over and over when I'm going to bed, and I wouldn't have any problem with it because it's one of those movies where you just don't give a shit. And I like those kind of movies. But yeah, it also had Gene Reno in it or something like that. The guy from Leon the Professional, I'm pretty sure. The sort of the best example I could say is this movie is a bit like the Twister. Actually, it's not like the Twister. It's nothing to do with the Twister, but it's sort of the same style. You just can't take it serious. It's just all silly, stupid, goofy, and at the end of the day, you know you're not gonna enjoy it. But I sort of like this movie just to watch when going to bed or something like that. So if I had a choice on if it was on Amazon Prime or Netflix, and if it was available, I would watch it again, just as a sleep sake, because probably the movie is so boring it'll put me to sleep. But I'm just trying to explain to you guys that this movie is absolutely god-awful terrible. For everyone else, it's perhaps one of the worst Godzilla movies, and I enjoy it for some reason. I don't know why, but I just enjoy it. But yeah, let's check out the video, shall we? Let's go. I've
Massacres,
got a really lot of
monster
bad movie
madness,
favorites.
Godzilla-thon.
It's not one of my favorite
Honestly,
movies,
I
but
shouldn't even
it's
be
something I
giving
could
this movie
watch.
a review. It has no purpose on our Godzilla-thon because it's not a real Godzilla movie.
Yeah.
But because it bears the name, I feel as if I have to address it. To date, this is the only Godzilla movie made outside of Japan, and it turned out to be a big mistake. Let's rewind back
Oh
to
yeah.
1993. Jurassic Park hit the scene, pushed the boundaries of special effects, and made dinosaurs awesome again. I remember reading a newspaper article at the time that TriStar acquired the rights from Toho to produce an American remake of
Damn.
Godzilla. I almost shit my pants. It was a dream come true. I wanted to see Godzilla's awesome force of destruction on the big screen, and maybe then people would take the King of the Monsters a little more seriously. Whenever I would tell people that I was into Godzilla, people would laugh at me. Guy in a rubber suit, bad dubbing, yeah, you know.
Oh,
I
they're
can
good
understand why the
movies.
mainstream moviegoers don't like foreign films. When it's dubbed, it's hard to take it seriously, but when it's subtitled, you have to read your way through the movie. Yeah, if I want to read, I'll get a friggin' book. Depends on the movie, but for something like this, I usually prefer dubbing because I'm lazy and I just want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Watch it, not read it. So, with that said, I had high hopes that the American Godzilla
A lot
would
of people
overcome
did.
all those problems and gain wider recognition for one of the greatest monsters of all time. But
It's
through countless
terrible for
delays,
everyone.
I had to wait 5 years for this movie to see the light of day in 1998.
1990.
But I got my fix with the Jurassic Park sequel, The Lost World. It was an average sequel, but the highlight was the final scene where the T-Rex goes on a rampage through the city. There's even a moment when Japanese tourists are running away saying, "I left Japan to get away from this." It was a great little tribute, but had I known that this was more honorable to Godzilla than the shit that we were going to see next.
Damn.
Finally, trailers started popping up which would show Godzilla's foot. This was our first sign that something was wrong. The foot looked like a T-Rex. Didn't we see that already? Isn't this supposed to be Godzilla? Then the marketing campaign picked up. You couldn't look anywhere without seeing advertisements, like a bus would drive by with a sign that says, "His foot is bigger than this bus." And there was the slogan, "Size does
Size
matter."
does
There was even a
matter.
music
That's
video by
debatable.
Puff Daddy and Jimmy Page, one of the most
Size that counts
shocking
is how you
musical
use it.
collaborations ever. So all the hype definitely amplified the
Austin Powers.
disappointment. But let's start talking about the movie. It stars Matthew Broderick as a scientist.
Yep, Matthew
Plot
Broderick.
is nothing more than you'd expect, just a lot of shitty
Just a
dialogue.
cheesy,
But
terrible
the main focus of what I want to talk
story.
about is Godzilla. Just look at him. It looks nothing like Godzilla,
No.
and I expected him to look different. I wanted him to look different.
He looks
I'm
terrible.
all for updating the image of a classic monster and making him more realistic and kick-ass for today's standards. I knew it was going to be all CGI and no guy in a rubber suit. I expected that. But what we got was something that didn't even fit the requirements. None of Godzilla's trademark characteristics were incorporated. Does he breathe fire? No,
Nope.
not really. There's a couple moments when he sort of blows on cars and they explode. But it's not like the fire's really coming from his mouth.
Yeah, it's
I
not
don't
shooting
know.
like lightning
And
bolts.
his size
It's not the same.
matters. Why is he so much smaller and weaker than the real Godzilla? They actually kill him with missiles. Yeah, they shoot him down. That's it. Did they ever even see a Godzilla movie?
Yeah,
the
tanks
army
and
is not supposed
planes
to kill
and
him.
shit.
The only thing that stands
Nothing
a
could
chance
kill him.
against Godzilla is another giant monster. And that was another disappointment, that there's no rival for Godzilla to fight. Long before the film's release, I read an early script in which he fights a monster called the Griffin.
No.
Why they scrapped that, I have no idea. I even heard that it was originally supposed to be King Ghidorah. That would have been awesome if they did it right.
Yeah.
There's also some weird thing about
Maybe the
Godzilla
budget?
laying eggs, which hatch into velociraptors. Yeah, seriously, it's just like the raptors from Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I know.
Clearly, this movie owed more to Jurassic Park than it did
There
to
fucking
Godzilla.
was a Jurassic Park
There's also
movie.
one egg left at the end, setting it up for a sequel that never happened. Although there was an animated series which continued the story.
Oh, there was an anime.
It's funny to note that the mayor in New York City in the movie is named
Oh, they're
Ebert,
those
and his
two,
top
movie
advisor is
reviewers.
Gene, an obvious nod to the critics Gene Siskel and
Yeah.
Roger Ebert.
I noticed
Their
those
basic
people.
consensus was, yeah, that's cool, but the movie still sucks. Now, listen, I'm not trying to jump on the bandwagon and hate on this movie like everyone else. I'm just putting the whole thing in retrospect.
Yeah, it
I
is a
was
bad
big
movie,
Godzilla fan.
but I
was
like
young
it.
and I was disappointed.
sort of bad.
But it's been 10 years, and I've gotten over it. I've given the movie a second watch, and for what it is, it's not bad. I mean, it's not high-class
There's much more
entertainment.
worse
It's
out
a
there.
monster movie. It's popcorn entertainment. I feel as if the same problem occurred with Independence Day. It was an entertaining movie, but a lot of people hated it, and I don't
I
understand
enjoyed
what they were
Independence Day.
expecting. It's about aliens that come down and blow shit up.
Yeah,
That's
what
it.
more could you ask
If you
for?
wanted something more, like the meaning of life, you're not going to get it. But the problem with this movie is that they called it Godzilla. There
Yeah.
was a chance to introduce the
Should've called
monster
it just
to Western
Jurassic Park.
audiences, but instead they made something
The
completely
Revenge.
different that might as well have been a remake of The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. It followed the basic
That's that
idea of a
lizard.
giant reptilian creature,
I've seen
but it
that
could have been
before.
almost anything. The name Godzilla was slapped on it just for marquee value. They were interested in the
Matthew
name
Broderick.
and not the actual
Yeah.
character. Two simple things. He breathes fire and he's indestructible. Some people have said, well, that was too unrealistic and they were trying to make a more serious approach with this one.
Yeah, with
That's
the bad
horseshit.
CGI. What are you
That's
talking
like
about?
trying to make Spider-Man realistic and not allowing him to shoot web. It doesn't matter if it's realistic or not. That's a time-honored trademark of the character. Spider-Man shoots web, Godzilla shoots fire. This is not Godzilla.
Yeah.
In fact,
It's
Toho
not.
officially renamed the monster Zilla. They even make a reference to it in the movie Godzilla, Mothra, and King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. Early in the film, when they're discussing the history of Godzilla, they mention that in 1998, a monster attacked New York City. The Americans think it was Godzilla, but it really wasn't. And later, in Godzilla Final Wars, there's a brief cameo where Zilla fights Godzilla and basically gets annihilated with one single blast of his nuclear
Damn.
breath. Too bad Zilla didn't have nuclear breath. Bottom line,
But he did have a lot of fish.
Godzilla 1998 should officially be renamed Zilla. It's not worthy of God. It's just Zilla. And even
Yeah.
that sounds too much like it.
Yeah, I agree. It is a bad movie, but it's sort of like a bad movie that I can enjoy. It's like a popcorn flick, like Independence Day or Twister. It's something you could just watch. You know, sometimes when I watch a lot of movies, it's really, you come to a point when you watch like I don't know, I must have watched thousands of movies, so as you have. I mean, we've all probably watched so many bloody movies. But when it comes to a point when you've watched so many bad movies, I just want something boring and dull, something that I can just switch my brain off, something that I can't pay attention to, something that I can't sort of get engaged with the story and all that. Just something bland and boring and just something like that. Something like Fallout 76. you know, it's a bit like that. Fallout 76. That's the comparison. If you want something bland and boring, just to sort of waste your time to find something. It's a bit like Fallout 76 in that way. And that's why I like this movie, is because it doesn't require thinking, because thinking hurts my brain. But no, seriously, that's why I kind of like it. I don't like it for it being like a Godzilla movie. I like it for being another boring movie that I can just mash out, lay down on the bed, watching TV, sort of watch the movie when going to bed. It's sort of that like a thing where you could just sort of chill out. It's not something you can, get prepared and a big movie night and watch this movie. No, this isn't a movie night sort of movie you want to watch with friends. Of course not. There's plenty of movies out there to watch something different. But this is a nice film to watch if you don't want anything to sort of get emotionally attached to the story. You just don't give a shit about anything. But it's a shame it's got to be called Godzilla, because it sort of butchers the sort of franchise. But then again, there were a lot of bad Godzilla movies. But then again, like I said, this is why I like the movie. This is why I mean, it's not amazing or incredible or anything like that, but it's just why I like it. It's because there's nothing to it. It's just bland. It's boring. It's just something I can watch this movie and to calm my brain down from, thinking of like wormhole theories and portable teleporting technology, and just when there's so much going on with your head and there's just so much, maybe if you're watching a horror flick or something, it's just bland and boring. You don't have to think. You just watch it and you're like a zombie, like, and you're in a state of a zombie. But yeah, that's why I like it, because it doesn't require thinking, and anything that doesn't require thinking, I like, because it gives me migraines. But yeah, hopefully I've cleared that up a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people thinking, Charlie, why do you like this movie? I like it in that aspect that I don't require thinking for this movie. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.